one of the problems is that I'm an ignorant man, and there's lots of things that I don't know. And I don't understand Islam. I don't know enough about it to be an intelligent commentary on it. I've done my best to peck away at the edges, but it would require multiple years of study to understand the similarities and differences between the two viewpoints. It looks to me like what Islam did was take a group of radically disparate tribes and unite them under a single ethos. Of course, the Muslim civilization expanded more rapidly than any other civilization ever had, and occupied a very large part of the world, which of course it still does. Perhaps there's something to be said for that unifying tendency. There's a problem, and maybe this is at the core of the problem. There's no distinction between church and state in Islam, and there is a distinction between church and state in the West. It isn't obvious to me, if it's the case that our culture is grounded in an underlying, let's call it literary metaphysics, something like that, a religious metaphysic. Part of the bedrock of our culture is the idea of the separation between church and state. And as far as I can tell, that idea doesn't exist in the Muslim world. And so I cannot understand how that faith is commensurate with the institutions of the West. It doesn't seem to me that there's any evidence that it's commensurate, because the number of Islamic democracies is, let's call it, finite. The best example has probably been Turkey. And Turkey, as far as I can tell, isn't doing that well at the moment on the democratic front. And it looked like the great shining hope. And a lot of that was a consequence of secularization. I've spent a lot of time, when I was writing Maps of Meaning, for example, looking for commonalities among religious viewpoints. And I was able to find deep commonalities, I thought, between Buddhism and Christianity, and Taoism and Christianity, and Hinduism and Christianity, for that matter. It was a lot harder when it came to Islam. It's not a faith that's opened itself up to me. I don't understand it well. But I hope that people of goodwill can build a bridge between the two cultures, because the alternative is too gloomy to contemplate.